I am live here from Southwest Colorado. It is 8:30 in the morning, and it is cold outside. It's in the low teens. We'll be in the negatives this week. We just got 2.5 feet of snow, and we love it. I know snow isn't for everyone, but yep, I am excited to talk about this topic today. How do you want the final decade of your life to look and feel? Now, this isn't a conversation a lot of people like to have, or it's a little uncomfortable to think about. But instead of thinking of your end, thinking of that final time of your life, what do you want it to look and feel? And maybe you've seen your parents or people that are a little bit older than you, how their final decade has gone or what that's like. And have you ever asked yourself, do you want your final decade to kind of look like that? Do you want your final decade to look like a bunch of pills and sitting around watching TV? Do you want your final decade to look like you out training and hiking and traveling the world and visiting family and being on adventures? What do you want it to look like? So that's what today is about. It's going to be a really short broadcast. Um, so I am Dr. Teresa Larson. I am the founder of Movement RX. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. And my job with my team is to provide leaders of organizations, those of us that a lot of people assume are okay, but oftentimes struggle just the same as anyone else, with opportunities to improve their well-being, which is their competitive advantage. Why? Because one, it helps them grow as human beings. It helps their company grow, right? It gives them a chance to be more creative and thoughtful and have more of a growth mindset, but also helps retain their people. That is what we do at Movement RX. Now, I've been on a number of podcasts this week already. It's been pretty exciting. From New Delhi, a leader in New Delhi named Ash with the brand called You, to Carrie Siggins' Reflect Forward podcast, to Sit Rep with Willis. It's been pretty fun. And on each of those, I've been able to share what we are doing with leaders. And I've had a number of amazing conversations with leaders, from chiefs of police to leaders of organizations just this week. And it's just Wednesday. And to the T, right, a lot of us who are leaders of organizations struggle with waiting until we're sick to do something about it, or feeling like we have to put work and family first, or really thinking that we have other people to take care of. When do we have time to take care of ourselves? Well, I'm here to tell you we must do it. And that is why Movement Arcs has pivoted to what we are doing now. We've worked in the corporate wellness space. We've done one-on-one PT. We sold our PT practice. Now we are focusing on where the gap is in well-being, which is leadership. And I'm saying that as a leader myself, right? As a young Marine, I loved the Marines I worked with, but there was times I didn't feel like I mattered. It was only mission accomplishment and troop welfare. Now that was on me too, but I didn't get that example. I got an example of my Marines matter more, my mission matters more than myself, from my leaders. And when I was sick, it didn't seem like people cared too much. Now, I'm not blaming any service organization for that, but I think we can be better as human beings, better as leaders, and we've got to start within ourselves. If we want our people to take care of ourselves, we have to show we care about ourselves and set that example. Okay, so a little bit of, I want to do, let's see here, a quick announcement. We have a retreat happening in May, which I want you all to learn about. It's pretty awesome. It is the Be Well to Lead Well retreat. It is May 16th through 19th at the Glen Erie Castle in Colorado Springs. Pretty excited about it. It's just over the mountains from me. Beautiful, beautiful area. This castle, have you ever been to a retreat in a castle, first of all? Because if you haven't, well, now's your chance. It is for leaders. And the nice thing is they're leaders from all over the country, all over the globe, coming together from different areas, connecting. So I'm going to put that in the link after this broadcast, because we all know what happens when we multitask. doesn't work out too well. So I'm going to wait until after the broadcast to post that. But we have a retreat and then also a webinar coming up, which is around Be Well to Lead Well as well. And I'll give you tools right now to help you. Right, we've got 4 months between now and the retreat. So how can we help you now with the things you need to do, right, to not only lead but be well? And you actually need to be well to lead well. All right. So today is about longevity. And while it's about how do you want to live the final decade of your life, how do you want it to look and feel? If however you want that to look and feel, guess what? Guess when you got to take action on that? Right now. Right now. So I love this quote. I never want to fight in the ring. I want it in preparation. This was by Muhammad Ali. I'll read it again. I never want to fight in the ring. I want it in preparation. So there's this saying, right? I like to use the saying, choose your hard. You can choose, and I was actually sharing this on a podcast earlier. You can choose your hard of not doing anything now and letting stress in your life rule you, but you're going to have to make time for systemic disease later or losing physical capacity pretty quickly later, which is a big sign of aging. Maybe you won't get sick, and I hope not. But the thing is, there's high chances you will if you don't take care of yourself now. Or you can choose the hard of shifting out bad habits, bringing in good habits, doing what you need to do now to be healthy. So that's also hard, right? Getting up a little earlier, saying no to drinking as much, saying no to drinking, saying no to dessert every night, saying no to people that are toxic in your life. And what that does, gives you more freedom, not only now, but later on in your life. So you choose. Now, I'll give you some data here on aging in general. So the primary hallmark of aging is your physical capacity. All right, so physical capacity eroding. Now, you're going to, regardless, I think over the age of 60, 65, you're going to start to get stiffer, right, and lose muscle mass. Now, the question is how much muscle mass? Now, on average, right, as we age, we'll lose up to 20 pounds of muscle mass, 18 to 20 pounds of muscle mass. That's a lot. That muscle is what gives us a chance to like do things that are hard, right? And then we'll gain fat. We'll become stiffer. Now, the more active you are and the stronger you are, right, you'll lose less muscle mass. And yes, you're not going to make as huge gains as you did in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, as large gains, large gains, but you can still make gains, right? You never stop growing. Remember, there's the fixed mindset. We teach this a lot in our leadership trainings, fixed versus growth. The fixed mindset, a lot of you probably have a fixed mindset around injuries or pain or aging. This is just my life now. I'm not an athlete anymore. This is my age. No, right? Growth mindset is I can still grow and get stronger. I can still lift my best years are still in front of me. What do you want to have? Which one do you think gives you more freedom? Which way of thinking do you think will allow you to have a better life now and in the future? Now, because I've lost both my parents and lost friends, I think about the end. I know we're all going to pass. That's just a reality. You can use all the serums, take all the pills, but you are not going to last forever. Now, the question is, how do you want to live with the life you have? So physical capacity is the telltale sign of aging, like decreasing of physical capacity. I've seen it with colleagues of mine who are in their 30s, in their late 20s, early 40s, already feeling and looking so much older because their physical capacity, they don't have a lot of strength, they don't move a lot, they're more sedentary because of their jobs or their kids, whatever they want to blame it on, right? You've probably seen that too. And then you've probably seen people who are in their 50s, 60s who feel amazing because they're super active, right? And they're out doing things, building strength, being active, getting their heart rate up, living their life, right? And they look so much younger. Maybe they look like they're in their early 50s or late 40s, whatever. You probably have experienced that. Maybe you've experienced that with yourself. So the key is for physical, for longevity, is that, and you can start whenever. If you haven't started yet, now is the best time to start, because if not now, then when, is activity, getting your heart rate up consistently during the week, meaning 120 to 150 minutes a week of getting your heart rate up. That's like 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You do the math. Or more, right? This is a case for activity, exercise. 120, 150 minutes or more. And then the other one is strength, doing at least 2 days a week of strength training. Now I'll say at least 30 minutes of it. Pick upper body, pick lower body, do CrossFit, P90X, whatever you want to do. Just do some strength training. Building your upper body, building your lower body. It's not about muscle mass. It's about the mass, the muscle that can produce force, like your ability to produce force. So move things at a certain speed, right? Getting up out of a chair, getting on and off the floor, lifting your body weight, jumping up, right? Maybe going for a run. It's about the force your muscle produces. So one activity, you want to be able to get that heart rate up at least 120 to 150 minutes a week. And honestly, you could walk at a higher rate, higher pace, and get that heart rate up. You could run, you could swim, elliptical, rower, just do it. Okay, ski, snowboard, and then the other is strength training. Usually, what the patterns I've seen, even with great athletes, is they choose one, right? Just focusing on activity and aerobic capacity versus strength training. You need both. You want your body to stay strong and produce force. So there's a case, I would suggest doing more than 2 days, but that's at least a minimum. Now, what that'll do is help you preserve your physical capacity. So as you age, you actually will lose less muscle mass, which means you'll be able to do more things and feel better over the long run, right? You'll gain less fat if you keep on that muscle. And if you stay active, your heart rate, your heart, your respiratory system, nervous system, all the systems benefit from that activity. Now, the hidden benefit, which maybe some of you know at this day and age, especially after the pandemic, is that exercise actually greatly improves your emotional health too. So James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, gave a beautiful description of how physical activity, exercise, improves mental health. And I'll give you some of the data here. There's actually some research too around depression, in the depression space. So for those of you that have had anxiety or depression, this will be relevant to you or those in your life. I have. There is many studies around depression being treated with just exercise and medicine, and then just medicine. So there's 3 different groups. And I'm going to reference one particular study. And exercise, the people that committed to exercise, and the duration, I am unclear of the duration, but I will get that duration to you. I'll put it in the comments later. So the duration of that study, less people relapsed into depression and anxiety with just using exercise as their prescription versus the combination or just medication. So exercise and medicine was the second. So people relapsed less, second to less, with medication and exercise, and then medication was the last. So the biggest one was exercise. People that stayed consistent with exercise had less of a chance to relapse. That's pretty significant. So, and exercise, actually, besides just depression and anxiety, focusing on activity and strength training can help reduce the risk of the majority of systemic diseases out there. Most cancers, heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, you name it. So the thing about emotional health, though, So it improves confidence, creativity. So it helps decrease cognitive decline by up to 30%, right? So those people who are at risk for dementia, we actually all are at risk. We can decrease our cognitive decline by 30%. That's pretty significant by being physically active. Our brain wakes up when we're physically active. It helps with improving mood. So it increases enthusiasm and alertness. Now, who doesn't want that? Now, I'll tell you what, one of the things that hold us back from being physically active, and actually 70% of you out there do not do any of this, are not active, do not do strength training. So if you're someone that's new to this, it's like, you know what, I actually want to have a great final years of my life and want to enjoy my life and travel and, not be stuck by my chair watching TV, taking meds, then you got to start now. And you will be part of a very small percentage of people who are taking action in this space. But once you get the ball rolling, that motivation, right? Motivation must come. It comes after action. You must take action first. I was just talking to a leader the other day, very high level, really struggles with energy at the end of the day. The job just crushes him. Wants to ski, wants to do other things, but just the job crushes him. And so I was like, you can't wait until you feel like it when you get home to be active. At a very low level, just go out and make sure you get your 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. That's it. Get your heart rate up, walk your dog, play with your dog, right? But you're not going to feel like it at the end of your day. Yet once you continue to do it, that motivation will come. That motivation will come right away, but you can't wait until you feel like it, or you're going to wait your whole life. And then with snowboarding, skiing, put it on your calendar, and whether you feel like it or not, get your butt up to the mountain and do it. It'll help a ton. And so that is something that holds us back, because we just don't feel like we have time or energy. But I'll tell you, you need to make the time, right? Again, choose your hard. Choose the hard of not doing anything now, and you won't feel good. And the latter years of your life probably won't feel good either. That's hard. It's hard being in pain and achy all the time and not doing anything about it. But some of us don't even realize that, versus the hard of getting up a little early, making time for a walk at the end of the day, on the weekends, doing your strength training, getting up a little early, going to the CrossFit class, whatever it is. One thing, getting 7 hours of sleep versus watching TV at the end of the day, right? Watching TV. Not that I don't condone watching TV, because I watch it, but like binge watching for hours and hours at the end of the day just to numb your brain, or alcohol or desserts, whatever it is, and whatever your vice is. Making time to bringing a good habit now. Just pick one. And I'm going to make I'm going to ask you to get activity in. That's your one thing. The activity, which is getting your heart rate up 120, 150 minutes a week, plus strength training twice a week. Choose that hard now. So now and continuing forward, benefits. I guarantee you, your confidence, your mood, your creativity, your ability to connect with others will improve. Don't be part of the 70% of people, Americans out there, you can talk to Americans, who don't do it, who are too sedentary and give in to the excuses, I don't feel like it, I don't have time. BS, you do. You're just choosing the hard now of not just succumbing to, I'm in pain, I don't feel like it, I'm old, I'm in my 40s, I got kids. You have all the excuses. And then later on, the hard is going to catch up to you in one way or another, versus the hard of changing your habits now so you can have a better life now. The people around you can have a better life now, because if you're a leader, you're setting an example for everyone else around you. There can't be an excuse. And so the duration of your life, to include the final decade, will be much better. All right. With that is the end of my broadcast today. Now, because it's just me on today and Dr. Morrison isn't on, I'm not going to look at comments right now. I will look at them in a few minutes and go on. But if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. I will say I'm doing one broadcast a month now, and we will have one blog to go with it. Any information you want to learn around leadership and well-being, let me know. Put it in the comments, private message me. I want to help. This is important. Someone said to me the other day, people assume we're okay. And I know we're not all okay. If you're a leader, you're putting on a smiling face. You're getting out there, getting after it. But don't forget to take care of you, right? So that your time now and moving forward in your life, that final decade is amazing. And I'm not going to say 100% of the time it is amazing. But you know what? Disease, dysfunction, injury, pain sucks really bad. So do what you have to do now. Start now. I don't care where you are. I'm looking at you. Get after it. And with that, have a wonderful day. And remember, reach out to this final or read you this final quote again. I never want to fight in the ring. I always want it in preparation. Muhammad Ali. Now, again, we've got a webinar coming up on January 18th. Quick announcement, which is at, I believe, 11:30 Mountain Time. I'll put that in the comments. It's about Be Well and Lead Well. And we have also a retreat coming up in May 16th through 19th. If you want to learn more about that retreat, come to our webinar on January 18th. I'm going to be teaching it with Will Schneider and John McCaskill. And with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful day and you take one step forward in improving your longevity today. And if you want, share in the comments what that is going to be. You're going to go out for a walk, run, going to go do some pull-ups with me? Are you going to do some strength training? What's it going to be? And I'm going to figure out how to end this session.